The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
What is up, everybody? Paul James here, coming at you with an awesome webinar today. Some new training. I'm really excited about it, but before I talk any further, I want to make sure you guys can actually hear me and see my screen and all that good stuff. So why don't you give me a 1 in the chat box, confirm that you are hearing me, you are seeing my screen, all that great stuff. Awesome. Rick says I'm the best. No, you're the best, Rick. Thank you. I appreciate that. All right. Karen says awesome image. Thanks, Karen. I just recently updated my Mac, and that's the image that came out of the box with the Mac. So, anyways, where's everyone calling in from today? There's a lot of people trickling in, so let's find out where everyone's calling in from while we wait for everyone to pour into the room. I like to give people a little bit of extra time because I know that the webinar software sometimes has to do updates, and sometimes you have to wait for that to load. All right. And just for the record, I'm from West Bend, Wisconsin, about 20 miles outside of Milwaukee, if that sounds familiar. And we got Chris from New Orleans, Bob from Belize, Alan from the UK. I mean, already we've covered 3 different countries. That's awesome. Thomas from the UK, Al from Houston, Texas, Dwayne from Orlando, Rick from London, Mike from the UK. A lot of UK in the house today. That's great. I'm guessing that this time works out good for you guys then. So I'm happy about that. Hopefully it does anyways. Tom in Raleigh. Jim in DC. Kevin in Ireland. Monica from Winnipeg. Sean from Baltimore. Okay, we got a lot of people. I could keep going down this list. I see Brookfield, Wisconsin in the house. Hey, Dale. That one jumped out at me. That's right. Not too far from me. In fact, I'm going to show you a website in Brookfield today on this call. So that's interesting. Cool. All right. Well, I want to make sure you guys are interactive in the chat box, and obviously I see you guys know how to use it because you're typing in. So that's helpful for me to make sure that you guys are paying attention and that you're understanding what's coming through. So occasionally I'll ask you to type in a number or say something to just kind of confirm that what I'm talking about is making sense. And if it doesn't make sense, then I'll explain it in a different way or hopefully better. So what we're going to be talking about today in this webinar is how to start a lead generation business from scratch, from ground zero. So whether you're a total beginner, you've never tried making money online, you've never done internet marketing, I'm going to be able to help you out with this webinar. Whether you're experienced and you've made lots of money online and you're just kind of looking to scale up what you're doing, I think this is going to add a lot of value to that as well. Okay, so lead generation is great for a couple of different reasons. Number one is it's great for a beginner to start because it really doesn't require much selling. You know, you're kind of putting your money where your mouth is with lead generation. It's not like you have to go and hard sell anything. In fact, I'm going to show you a way to do this without having to sell anything, and everything kind of just works on its own, autopilot. So that's why I think it's great for beginners, and why I think anyone looking to get into making money online should look towards lead generation as a way to start. It's a very non-invasive way. So let's just make sure we're all on the same page. Let's talk about what is lead generation. I just put a slide on the screen. Let me know if you can see it. Put a 2 in the chat box. All right, cool. Everyone sees it. Great. So what is lead generation? Just make sure we're on the same page. I'm sure a lot of people can guess what it is, but it's, for example, when you send a local business owner, like a plumber, a prospect who's looking for plumbing services. Okay, so in short, that's really all it is. So we work with a plumber. They're looking for people who have broken pipes or clogged toilets, and we send them one of those people. And that's all a lead is, and we get paid for that lead. And in most cases, depending on how you set your business up, you get paid for it regardless of whether they get the job or not. You just get paid for the lead because it's their job to convert the lead, not yours. Your job is to send the lead. It's their job to actually convert it. As long as you're sending good leads, that normally works out pretty well. So how do we acquire these leads? These leads either come from a customer filling out a form, like on your website or something like that, or customer calling. And you can actually set up call tracking and stuff like that so that the leads are automatically forwarded over to the business owner and you don't really have to deal with any customers. Okay, so that's what lead generation is, but why should you focus on lead generation? Why am I putting such an emphasis on it? Well, Home Advisor, who is the powerhouse in the industry right now, and you can check them out later on if you want and research about them. It's like homeadvisor.com, previously known as Service Magic, if that sounds familiar. They're generating, last time I checked, $205 million annually in revenue. Give me a 5 in the chat box if you think that's pretty impressive. I think that's crazy, off of just this one business model that we're going to talk about today, lead generation. Okay? Lots of 5s, obviously. That's insane. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I'd be happy to capture just a fraction of that, right? So leads are easy to sell. There's really nothing complicated about it because you're sending them the lead. I mean, it's already done. It's not like you're getting paid and then they're waiting on something like you to build a website or they're waiting on you to rank them on the first page of Google. No, none of that nonsense. It's just automatically they want leads, you send them. They're delivered immediately. And they're easy to obtain, right? It's easy to generate leads. Whether you do it with SEO, which is, kind of the free way of generating leads, or pay-per-click advertising, if you want to generate them immediately, you can use like Facebook or AdWords and generate leads that way. Or another free way is like Craigslist. A lot of people overlook Craigslist, but Craigslist is a great way to generate leads. We generate tons and tons of leads for our clients. Particularly does good with like our attorney clients in the financial sector, does great with skilled trades. So Craigslist is a great way to generate leads and free. My personal favorite is SEO though, because you kind of do the work once and then the leads just keep pouring in month after month. So you may be thinking, how am I going to compete as a beginner, as someone who's just starting their brand new lead generation business with someone like Home Advisor who's generating $205 million annually, right? How are you possibly going to compete with that? Here's why you have a shot at competing with the giant Home Advisor. Their leads are non-exclusive. Okay, I'm going to say that again. Their leads are non-exclusive. And Steve just said that their leads suck. I saw him put it in the chat box. Steve, why do their leads suck? Because they're non-exclusive. So I'm guessing Steve maybe is a business owner himself who happened to get leads from Home Advisor. So what does that mean, non-exclusive leads? Okay, Tom says what? Okay, Tom, I want you to picture this. You're a local plumber, right? And Home Advisor says they're going to sell you leads. They're going to sell you $50 a lead to get plumbing leads, right? So what happens is Home Advisor sends you an email or whatever and says, hey, Tom, I've got this lead for you. Here you go. Here's the customer's phone number and information. Well, guess what, Tom? You follow up with the customer as soon as you can, as quick as you possibly can. And by that time, the customer has already spoken with 5 or 6 different contractors. And guess what? You still paid $50 for the lead. So basically now you're in a bidding war or a time war. Whoever gets back to the customer the fastest gets the sale. Guess how Home Advisor's customers, their contractors who are paying $50 per lead or however much they're paying, feel about this? You think they're happy about that? Not very happy about it at all. So what I like to do, and if you want to compete, Skip says, I doubt they charge $50 for a non-exclusive lead. They do charge upwards of $50 a lead. Absolutely they do. How many people here know how much Home Advisor sells leads for? I had a price list that showed it, and it went anywhere from like $30 to like all the way past $100 per lead. Dave has the list. Okay, here, Greg says, as a general contractor myself, I was paying $85 a lead. $85 a lead. It's insane, right? So this is how you can compete against the giant. Work with one solid person who can handle your leads and offer them exclusive leads. Does that make sense? Give me some 2s in the chat box. All right, awesome. Okay, cool. I'm going to hop out of PowerPoint now. I really don't like PowerPoint presentations too much when I'm watching webinars, so I'm pretty positive that you guys probably don't like them either. So we're going to go into some real tutorial training, meat and potatoes type stuff and kind of just dive right in. So I like to focus on SEO, and that's kind of where I'm going to focus this webinar on right now is generating these leads via SEO. Is that cool with everyone? Give me a 3 in the chat box if that's cool with everyone. Let me know if you can see the Google search box in my screen. Okay, cool. So this is one of my example sites here. It's Brookfield Roofing. I told you I'd show you a Brookfield site. This one is for our Brookfield attendee here. So it's ranking on the first page of Google, and I'm just going to open it up and show you kind of what it looks like. So it's just a simple landing page. You notice everything's pretty generic about it. It just says Brookfield Roofing, doesn't have a company name, and that's because what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to generate leads right here. See this quote form? Get a free quote. They fill out this lead, I send it to the contractor, I get paid. Okay, and alternatively, I could also place a phone number on the site. But I'm going to explain that in a little more detail coming up. This is what a typical lead generation site looks like. It's nothing too fancy. It's just a simple WordPress site. You can use a free theme to get this up and running. I think on this site I used a paid theme, but these days I'm using free themes, and I use this theme called Sparkling, and it looks amazing actually. That's the theme I switched over to. All right, so I'm going to show you how SEO works. And someone says, what is SEO? SEO stands for search engine optimization. And basically it's the process of getting a website to show up on the first page of Google, like it does right here for a certain keyword. So the strategies I'm going to show you are the same strategies I use to not only rank this site, but even more competitive stuff. Like, check this out. If you go into Google right now and type in remove bad reviews, everyone is trying to rank for this keyword. And right now, at the time of this webinar, I fluctuate on this ranking, but at the time of this webinar, I'm ranked number 1, right below the paid ads, right below AdWords. I'm ranked number 1 for remove bad reviews. Now, every SEO agency, reputation management, reputation marketing company, they're all trying to rank for this competitive keyword. And yet here I am sitting at number 1. You can go check it for yourself if you want. You should see it. Okay, this is my course. I'm logged into Udemy right now, so let me log out and I'll show you. Let's go back. Let's type it in. Remove bad reviews. Okay, there I am, number 1, sitting right there. Click on it. Here I am, instructed by Paul James. See that? Yeah, Kevin says, wow, that's awesome. So I'm going to show you how I did that. Who's excited to learn how I did that? And how you can rank your lead generation sites the same way. Give me some 3s. Awesome. So let's break it down. Can everyone here see my screen? I see a couple of people saying they can't see my screen. If you can't see my screen, you should relog. Okay, everyone else can see it. So I'm guessing maybe it's just something with the GoToWebinar system or whatever. So go ahead and just relog and it should be okay. All right, cool. So let's break this down. We're going to be talking about backlinks first. So I'm going to give you some backlinking 101. It's just going to be like a quick foundational kind of lesson for you. So backlink is basically when a site decides that they want to link to your site. So like, let's say, for example, your local news station decides that they want to run an interview about you, a local heating contractor or something, and they say, you know, so-and-so heating company is great, go check out their website. So they're going to put a link on to go to, you know, www.yourheatingsite.com or whatever, right? So Google considers this when another site has your site on it, a link to it, they consider that a backlink. They consider it a vote, right? Like a vote of confidence. So whoever has like not just the most votes, but the highest quality votes, Google decides that they're going to put them higher in the search results, okay? So what determines on who has the higher quality votes or the higher quality backlinks? Well, there's a few different grading scales that we look at to determine that. And I'm going to break them down for you. The first one's called PageRank, otherwise abbreviated PR. And you don't really have to stress the details of this, but I do just want to give you kind of a brief overview so that you kind of know a little bit what I'm talking about in the lingo, I guess. So PageRank runs on a scale from 0 to 10. Okay, and this is a statistic or a metric provided to us by Google. Now 0 would be on the low side of the scale and 10 would be like the high side of the scale. So if you had a backlink coming from a PR0 site and your competitor had a backlink coming from a PR3 site, the PR3 backlink would be a lot better. Okay? Now there's one problem with PageRank. PageRank isn't updated often. Okay, it's rarely updated anymore. We haven't seen an update to PageRank in a pretty long time. So that means if a site says it has a PageRank of 0, it might not really be a PageRank 0 because Google just didn't apply their update yet. It could be a PageRank 3. And I know that sounds kind of weird because it's like, well, why aren't they updating it? So there's another metric that we use to find out what the PageRank really is. And that metric's called domain authority. Okay, and we're going to abbreviate that DA. Now, the domain authority metric is a metric that's a third-party metric. It's not provided by Google, but they use like similar algorithm to evaluate it, similar to the PageRank. So we trust this domain authority metric a lot more now. This is the metric that kind of SEOs are going to now. And this metric runs on a scale of 0 to 100. So really, all you have to think about is just add a 0 onto it, and that would be like the PageRank. So for example, if I had a domain authority of, let's say, 10, that would be comparable to a PageRank of 1. So there's just a 0 tacked onto it. Okay, let's do a couple of other examples. If I had a domain authority of 26, that would be comparable to a PR3 because we would just round up. Basically, it would be a PR 2.6. But since PRs don't have points in them, we would just round that up to 3. Does that make sense? Give me some 5s in the chat box if that's making sense. Okay, lots of good info, everyone says. Okay, great. So basically, there's a couple different ways. It should be clear by now to you that we need to get backlinks, right? We need to get backlinks from sites that are high authority. So a great way to do that is to reverse engineer what your competition is doing. This is the most basic way, the easiest way. So let's say, for example, I wanted to rank for dentist in Cedarburg, Wisconsin. So let's just say I'm trying to rank for dentist, Cedarburg, Wisconsin. So I'm going to look at this list here. You can even look at the MATS listings, but whatever you want to look at, and grab a URL of one of your competitors. Grab their URL. Use a tool like Majestic, okay? I've got Majestic pulled open here. And you're going to want to pop in the URL into the tool. I like to put the HTTP in front of it in the www dot and hit enter. And what you're going to see is you're going to see how many backlinks they have. So there's going to be 2 numbers that you're really looking at here to start with. And that's external backlinks, which say 20, and then referring domains, which say 4. So referring domains really paints a clear picture of exactly how many backlinks they have, because although it says they have 20 backlinks, they're only coming from 4 different websites. So how is that possible? Well, maybe they have 5 separate pages on one of those websites where they have a link on each page, right? So it might total up to 20, but they're really only coming from 4 separate domains. So the easiest way to get backlinks, like the first way, which is absolutely free, is to just come in here and hit backlinks and look at what backlinks they have. So here's a backlink they have. And if your competitor has this backlink, chances are that this site will also give you a backlink too, right? So here it is. Looks like their Chamber of Commerce. So we could probably get a backlink on here possibly as well. We would just have to contact them and see if we could get a backlink on there. And we would just go through and look at all of our competitors' backlinks. That maybe looks like one of their old sites. Okay, and that's all the backlinks they have. They really don't have much. It looks like most of them are just 301 redirects, which basically means they bought another domain and they forwarded it, which because they just wanted to make sure that they had the .net and .org version of their site. So they really don't have much in terms of backlinks here, which would signify to me that this is a pretty non-competitive niche. So this would be the first way of going in and kind of reverse engineering your competition, looking at their backlink history, and then just trying to go after their same backlinks. But for SEO to work really well, you really want to kind of own and control everything. Okay, who here has heard of a private blog network? Anyone here heard of a private blog network? Okay, that's abbreviated PBN a lot of times in the SEO world. Okay, lots of people say yes. So private blog network is basically the process of going out there, buying a expired domain. This is a domain that someone decided they weren't going to renew. with like GoDaddy. They decided I'm not going to pay the $10 a year to renew it. And GoDaddy said, okay, we're going to sell this domain then. So they sell the domain to someone else. The thing is that these domains, they still hold a high domain authority. So you look for expired domains that people forgot to renew and look for ones that have a high domain authority in their metric. And you buy those. And what you do is you recreate the site. Okay? You rebuild it out. You can do this using just simple WordPress. It doesn't have to be like a fancy site or anything. But you recreate the site and you use that site to put your own backlinks. So use it to backlink your own sites. And I'm going to show you examples of this. Why is this powerful? Anyone have any ideas of why this might be the more desirable approach? Chris says, doesn't Google hit these networks hard? And that's a great question, and I'm glad that you brought that up. What Google did in the past is people were providing these services. They would sell it for like $47 a month. And basically what it would do is it would allow you to come in on like an online membership, and you could plug in your site details in like a 300-word article, and they would post an article for you on their private blog network with your backlink. The problem is they did this for thousands and thousands of other people too. So everyone had the same exact backlinks, right? So Google was able to easily see whoever had these same exact backlinks that they were just signing up for one of these services. So the key with private blog networks is not to sign up for one of these third-party services and use their private blog networks. It's to build your own, because you don't want to create a footprint. If you build your own and you don't create a footprint, you've got nothing to worry about. Okay. So let's go through this. What's the process of finding these expired domains? There's a few different ways I'm going to show you. And one of the ways is pretty expensive. You know, you'll pay upwards between $60 to, all the way up to like $300-$400 a domain name, and then you have to rebuild it. And the other way can cost you as little as $1.99 if you can find a coupon, or $10. So I'm going to show you both ways. One way takes less work than the other, so it's kind of it's going to be a decision for you. Do you want to do a little extra work? It's not much extra work, but a little extra work to buy domains for $2 to $9, or do you want to just have someone else kind of organize it for you and you can just look at it? Okay, so this is the more expensive way. We'll start there because it's kind of easier to explain. More expensive way is you come to this site, domcop.com. Okay, there's lots of sites out here like this, but this is just one of them that I've kind of came across and I liked. And what it does is these are all auctions. So like GoDaddy will get the domain, and instead of like selling it to someone new right away, they'll put it up for auction. And they'll have everyone go in a bidding war on it. So what you can do is you can use this site, domcop.com, and you can organize them by the domain authority right here, DA, and you can see there's a domain authority of 15, so that would be a PR 1.5, PR 1.7, PR 1.1, right? So you can look at these sites and determine if they're a good site, and then you can bid on them. Now you can look at the prices. This one's going for 90. Actually, let's click on it. That might not be accurate. I think you actually have to click on the domain to see what it's going for. Okay, the bid's only at 11 right now and still got a day left. So this is probably going to jump up by the end of the day. But there's some other things you want to look at. So I'm going to lay out some additional metrics for you in order to pick out a really good high quality domain. So if you have a pen and paper, now would be the time to get it handy and write down these metrics. These are the metrics you're looking for. So let me make some white space on my notepad here. Okay, so I'm going to put key metrics when buying a expired domain for your PBN. Okay, these are the key metrics. You want a domain authority, as high as you can without getting too expensive, but I would say at least higher than 10, so we'll put 10 plus. There's another factor. There's one called trust flow. It's abbreviated TF. I'll spell it out too since we've just starting to talk about this. And you want to look for this metric above 10 as well. And then there's another one called CF, citation flow. And preferably you want this one to be 10 plus too. So the most important metrics out of all of these are the top two, DA and trust flow. Okay, so write these down. Write these three scores down. That's really all you need to know about it. I'd rather not overcomplicate anything because it really doesn't need to be complicated, but just look for 10 plus in all of these. And if you see that, you're off to a good start. Okay, so from this point, you would want to go and actually start reverse engineering things. So copy and paste their URL, bring it into Majestic, and just kind of take a look at their backlink profile. So I'm going to type in the HTTP, and we'll put the www dot in front of it. And let's just start reverse engineering this and see if it's a decent buy. So I'm going to go to the summary. Okay, so here it is. Trust flows a 10. That looks pretty good, right? Citation flows a 14. That looks good. And we could see the Moz score on the other site. Okay, so let's take a look at their anchor text. You want to look at their anchor text and make sure it's diverse. Like if you saw 100% of the anchor text was going towards one keyword, or if you saw spammy keywords in here like Viagra or something like that, this would be one that you'd want to stay away from. Okay, so you want to look at all these factors. The other thing I like to do is I like to use this tool called the Wayback Machine. It's archive.org/web, or you can just go to Google and type in the Wayback Machine and punch in the domain here, okay? And browse history. And this is going to show you, you can go back in time, you know, as far back as you want, and it's going to show you screenshots of what the site used to look like. Okay? And again, you're just looking for anything that looks suspicious. Do you see a site that's full of spam like Viagra and stuff like that? Okay, so it gave me just a little snippet of it before it shut off, but I could see that it looks like this site was like maybe a non-profit organization about domestic abuse. So I think so far everything looks good. So from this point I would decide, okay, this looks like a site I would want to bid on. And then I would go ahead and start bidding on it. Give me a 6 so far if everything is clear. Or somewhat clear, and we'll continue moving forward. Okay. Great, lots of 6s. Okay, so from this point, if I win the auction, right, if I bid on it and I win the domain, then I want to go and I want to recreate the site. And the way I do that is I like to, number one, when you register it with the web host like GoDaddy or Namecheap, you can either select to have private registration. Why would we want to have private registration and not use our own name on all the sites? Does anyone have any idea? Yeah, Kevin hit the nail on the head. You don't want to create a footprint. So if all of our sites are registered under the same name, that's going to create a footprint. So you want to make them look like they're owned by different people. So you can register them private. Or what a lot of people do is they use this tool called Fake Name Generator. And this tool basically will generate a bunch of fake names, addresses, phone numbers. And these are real, like, you know, legit details. And you can go and use this to register your domains. You can keep the billing information under your own personal name, because obviously they're going to need that to run the payment. But for all the other information, like the technical contacts and stuff, you can use these fake names and register everyone under a different fake name. So that covers hosting, not to create a footprint there. But what about web hosting? Okay, what about web hosting? That covers the domain name. I think I might have said hosting. That covers registering the domain name, but what about your web hosting? You don't want to host them all on the same web host either, right? If we host them all on the same web host under our same name, that's also going to create a footprint, which is going to do us no good. So what I like to do is I come in here and type in web hosting talk into Google, and there's a forum. If you come and click shared hosting offers here, there's a forum full of great deals on web hosting. Okay, here's one starting at $3.95. Here's one starting at $1.95 per month. Okay, there's lots of them like this, $6 a year. So just separate your hosts out. You know, don't host more than 1 or 2 at the same web host. Okay, and you can find plenty of them here for, you know, $6 a year or $1 per month. It's really, in the grand scheme of things, not a big deal. And then you rebuild the site out. So I'm going to show you examples of what it looks like when I rebuild the site out. But before we do that, I want to show you the other method of obtaining these domain names, because I don't know about you guys, but bidding on domains and auctions and stuff, you know, the price is going to get jacked up. You're going to end up paying a lot more for domain names. So who here wants to learn how to find domain names with the same stats, but for $1.99 if you use a coupon code? All right, cool. Lots of yeses. Okay, so there's been a lot of talk about this, and no one's really sharing how to do it. So I'm going to share with you how to do it. And it uses a free tool called Xenu Link Sleuth. So if you go to Google and type in Xenu Link Sleuth, there's going to be a link to download this free tool. So you want to start by downloading this free tool. And there's lots of paid services out there that will charge you a bunch of money every month to basically do this, and you can actually do it yourself for free using this free tool. Okay, so Xenu Link Sleuth, my internet's loading slow, but this is the site you want. You're going to download this tool, and what's going to happen is we're going to do a couple of little tricks on a Google search to make this work. Okay, the way this works is, and I've actually got my notepad here because I often forget the search query myself. So let me pull it open here on my notepad and we'll run through it. Okay, so here's what we do. You want to type in your keyword first. So for example, let's say you're looking for sites with the niche certified public accountant or something like that. Gotta spell it right though. Go into Google, type it in, certified public accountant or whatever your niche is, put it in quotation marks just like I did here. You're gonna follow that by a plus sign. And you want to write this down because I wrote it down too because sometimes I forget it. Followed by a plus sign, followed by quotation marks again, and then the word links. Okay, so write that down. In between quotation marks, put your niche, put the plus sign, and then in between quotation mark, put links. Okay, can I put it in the chat box? Sure I can. Let me go ahead and put it in there. Okay, so then we're going to hit search. Now there's a couple of things that you're going to need. And I forgot to load it up. Let me show you that first. There's this plugin called SEO Quake, right? And it's a Google Chrome and also Mozilla Firefox plugin. So you want to install this plugin first. This is free as well. What this plugin is going to do is it's going to show you the stats of your search results. So I'm going to load this plugin up and show you it again. So we're going to hit enable. And we're going to fix a couple of different options too before we reload this page. We're going to come over here to the gear icon in the search settings. We're going to hit search settings here, okay? And what we're going to do is we're going to say never show instant results. And then you can put results per page up as far as you want. Put it to 100. That'll load them all at once. That's the best way to do it. But because I'm on a webinar and I don't want it to take long to load, I'm just going to go ahead and put it at maybe 30. And that's it. Save those search results like that. We're going to hit OK. Okay, there's one last thing we have to do. You can see it's starting to scrape the PR. And that is we're going to go back in time. Remember, we're looking for domains that are expired, which means if we look at the search results of 2015, we're going to find all domains that are current. But if we go back in time, a couple years back or a few years back, we're going to find old domains. So the way you do that is hit search tools right here where my mouse is, and where it says anytime, hit the drop down on there, select custom range, and we're going to do, I don't know, let's just do 2004 to 2008. And you can try out different things, right? The different things are going to get you different results. And we're going to hit go. So now this is going to find me only results from 2004 to 2008. Now what we're looking for, you see here SEO Quake shows this is a PR3. This one's a PR3. We're looking for sites that have a high page rank, and then we're going to open them up. And on those sites, you're generally going to find outbound links, right? Because sometimes these sites are going to link out to other people. Now, not all of them are going to, but you'll open them up and you'll find one that has a lot of outbound links. Like this one has a bunch of outbound links going to different sites. So what does that mean? Well, if they had a PR3, for example, basically it would mean that all of these sites here have a PageRank 3 backlink. So chances are that one of these sites forgot to renew their domain. And if they have a site, a PageRank 3 backlink from one site, chances are they probably have good backlinks from other sites too. So we use that tool from Xenu Link Sleuth. Okay? We use that tool from Xenu Link Sleuth. I'm going to open up PowerPoint again. And you punch in that site that you found that had, you know, a good page rank and had a bunch of links on it. And you say check external links. Okay? I've got a slideshow up right now because Xenu Link Sleuth only runs on Windows. So if you're on a Mac, I have to use my Windows machine, and I'm on a Mac right now. Or you can use a HostWinds VPS server, which will basically allow you to run Windows on your Mac. They charge you like $10 a month to do that. Or you can use like Parallels or something else. But if you're on a Windows machine, you don't need to worry because this runs in there. Okay, so you open up Xenu Link Sleuth. You punch in your site here that you looked at from the custom search results. And what it's going to do is it's going to run and it's going to check all the outbound links. What you're looking for, let me grab a pen here. What you're looking for are the sites that say no such host. Maybe I should grab a different color. Let's change the color to yellow. See these ones that say no such host? That's still hard to see, isn't it? Let's do blue. See these ones that say no such host? That means that this site here isn't loading, which it means it's likely that that domain is expired. So you'll go through and you'll check all these ones that say no such host, and you'll check the metrics of them. And what happens is you find great expired domains. Give me some 7s in the chat box if you guys are getting it and if this is awesome. Now these sites, you can register on any registrar you want. GoDaddy, Namecheap. You can go on Google and type in GoDaddy promo coupon and you can find $1.99 coupon codes. And basically, you get the exact same thing, but for a fraction of the price. And you can do this all free. And this is exactly how I rank all my sites. It's how I ranked for Remove Bad Reviews, how I rank for Brookfield Roofing. Okay? Yeah, I find great metrics all the time. This exact strategy. Okay, so I want to show you a couple slides of what it looks like when we rebuild one of these sites out. So, I like to go back into the Wayback Machine and take a look at this site. And I've taken this site down since because I'm using it as an example. And obviously, it's not beneficial if everyone knows my private blog network because then it's not private and I create a footprint for myself. So I did take this site down. But I did capture screenshots of it. And for the purpose of tutorial, I wanted to show you how I rebuild them. So I took screenshots and put it into this presentation for you. So I go into the Wayback Machine and I take a look at what the site used to look like. I then go set up a fake WordPress site. Not a fake WordPress site, but a WordPress site that's separate on a separate host, like I showed you in web hosting talk forum for $1 per month or whatever. And I go and I grab details from the Wayback Machine. Like I took a picture and put it in there, right? I grabbed that from right up here. And then you see this little flower picture. I also put that right down here. Okay, look at the article. I also took the article as well. See that? Took in the article. Now you don't have to use their articles. You could use like iWriter or something like that or write your own content. But hey, this site's expired. I figure, there's no chance at duplicate content or anything like that because it's expired. So why not just take advantage of it? So you use just random free WordPress themes when you build this out. Doesn't matter what the site really looks like. You just kind of want to make it look somewhat legitimate, somewhat like a real site. And then what I like to do is at the bottom, notice where it says friends down here? That's where I place my backlink. So that's where I place the link back to the site I'm trying to rank. Or you can put it in the article somewhere. Some sites I put them right inside of the articles. Some sites I put them on the sidebar if the WordPress theme looks like that. Okay? Give me some 2s if that's helpful. Is that helpful, kind of seeing what one looks like? Nothing fancy, just free WordPress theme. That's how I rebuild them out. All right, cool. So that's the process of ranking. It's really not that hard. Chris says Ninja. Yeah, it's definitely Ninja. This is definitely awesome cutting edge stuff. So you get a site like this to rank, right? You get a site like this to rank. I don't put a phone number on it to start with. All right, I don't put a phone number on it to start with. Instead, because I don't have anyone to buy the leads yet, right? I've got just a site ranking on Google with lots of traffic, but I don't have anyone buying the leads yet. So what I do is I just put on a quotation form like this. So I've got people filling out quotation forms, right? Let me show you the kind of responses I get from contractors. I'm going to show you how this works and how I actually sell this. Okay? And this is in regards to exclusive leads. Right? I've been waiting for someone to contact me with a sensible lead generation. I at least need phone number and email with each lead. I can take it from there. Give me both options. 1, what percentage do you want? 2, what would the flat rate per lead be? Are these local leads? I'm willing to travel per my website locations. Okay, so this is one deal that I got. Here's another one. They emailed me and just asked me to call them. All right. And another one told me what they pay, 8 to 10% of what their average customer pays. Okay, so what do these 3 deals I made have in common? And I'm going to show you. This is awesome. 1, they all came in on the same day. 2, all of them were done without a single cold call. Right? I didn't have to solicit anyone through phone. And 3, the clients all came to me 100% on autopilot. 100% on autopilot. Give me a 2 if you want to learn how I do this. Okay, lots of 2s. Saw someone put 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. So, okay. So here's how it's done. We're going to fast forward through these slides here. All right, so a lead comes in through my site, right? They come in, a visitor comes into the site. They see my form. I showed you what it looks like on the site. And what happens is, instead of them filling out the form and it just coming to me, I automatically take certain fields of that form and I send it off to real business owners. So for example, with the roofing site, I would send that lead off to maybe like 10 different roofing contractors that I'm interested in working with until I can cut a deal with just one of them. And then I'll sell them just to the one. But I send real fields from the form. That's where the key is. So let me show you what one of these emails looks like. Okay, so what you're looking at is also a reply, but I want you to pay attention down here. Look at the subject. Someone came to my drywall site, right? And they filled out a form, and then I sent this email off to a bunch of different drywall contractors. And in the email I said, need a quote for drywall in Milwaukee. Hi, I was wondering if you could give me a ballpark estimate on this. We're looking to get drywall hung and mudded in our rec room. It's approximately 900 square feet. Thanks. So he replies back and he tells me that he's going to give me a ballpark price. It's going to be around $1,300 to $1,500. So let's figure this out. I already know that other contractors have told me they would pay me 10% per lead, right? So I know that this lead, that I should be able to sell leads to them for $150 a piece, roughly. Because he gave me the price, right? $130 to $150 a lead. He already gave me the price, so now I don't have to even worry about what I'm going to charge him because he kind of already told me. The key is in the form. The form automatically put fields from the customer. Like the customer put that they were looking for drywall, so I automatically inserted that into the email. The customer selected on the form that they were in the city of Milwaukee, so I put that in there. The customer put this little comment on exactly what they were looking for right here in their form, so I included that in the email. And they also put in the form that they had 900 square feet. Now everything that you see on this page with a red box around it was things that the customer filled out on the form. Everything else was a pre-templated email that I had pre-programmed to send out. I didn't send these out manually, sent out 100% on autopilot. And what happens is I get responses like this now, and I'm able to sell my leads on autopilot. How awesome is that? So what I do is I send them an email back. I explain that this is from one of my websites, and I'd be happy to give them this lead for the price. And I'd be happy to send them all of my existing leads. And what happens is, again, you get responses like this, which is why I showed you before. Okay, so let's exit this slideshow and let's take a look at how I do this on autopilot. Who wants to know how this is done on autopilot? Is this making sense so far? Okay. Awesome. Lots of yeses, lots of me's, lots of ones. Okay, good. So I'm using this tool that we built out custom called Requestimate. And I'm going to log into a demo account that I set up to show you how this works. All right, let me clear my cookies here. Actually, I think I can go into an incognito. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna look at the software and build out a form. And let me zoom in. I'm on a high resolution monitor, so it might be a little hard to see. Now these are all fake forms. These aren't These aren't real forms. I just created them for demo purposes to show people. But what you do is you come in here and you hit add a form. Okay, so we're going to call this form something. We'll just say demo roofing. Okay, now the success message is what you want the form to say after they fill it out. So in my case, let's look at the roofing site. I'm saying that they can get a free quote on roofing services. So that's probably what I want my success message to say, something of that nature. So I'm going to say, we'll get back to you shortly with a quote or something like that. Okay, now I can actually go and build out my form. And again, you can build it out similar to how I did or however you want. That's kind of the beauty of this, is you can do this without any programming knowledge. So I'm going to drag in a text input field. I'm going to hit edit, and I'm going to call this name. I'll just say for the label text, name. For the placeholder, I'll say first and last or something like that. And I don't need a help text field. And then you can choose whether or not you want this to be required or not, like whether you absolutely want them to fill it out or not. So I do want the name field to be required because I know when I'm selling leads to people, they're going to want to know the name of the customer. Okay, let's ask for a phone number now. So let's drag in another text input field. We'll call this one phone, and we'll just put phone for everything. And we will require this field as well, so we'll save that. Let's do email input. I'm going to change the label text to just say email, and we don't need a help text, and we do want this required too. Okay, now's where things get interesting because I want to make things start to get kind of dynamic. So I'm going to select a selection option, and I'm going to choose a basic select widget, and I'm going to edit this, and we're going to call this type. And we'll just call the label service. Let's call it service type. Okay, I want to know, do they need a roof repair, or do they need a roof install? So we're going to put the options in there just like that, make it required, hit save. Now here's another cool thing. I'm going to go onto the button field. I want to know if they have a picture that they can upload of their house, because I can actually send these off to the contractors, which adds real legitimacy to my lead. If they can actually see that it's a real customer. So I'm going to put image, and I'm just going to say, if you have a picture of your home, it may help us provide a more accurate quote. Now I'm not going to make this field required because not everyone's going to want to go and take a picture, but a lot of people do if they know it's going to give them a more accurate quote. Okay, other than that, maybe we'll put in like a city field. So we'll put in another text input, and then we'll wrap this form up. So call it city for the placeholder, and we'll make this one required. So save it. I'll maybe move the city up here. All right, looks good. Now we just need to put in a submit button. So let's drag that in. Let's edit it. Let's call this, I'm going to make it look a little fancy and put get quote in caps. And you can choose different button styles. Like these have different colors. So like the warning, we'll make it like this orange color. Danger, we'll make it like a red. So we'll do danger and we'll get rid of the check mark. All right, so now we're going to save it. Our form's done. Now we're going to choose who we're going to send these leads to. Now keep in mind, let's pretend we don't have anyone to buy these leads yet. So what we're going to do is we're going to send them off to a bunch of random different people, different contractors that we might want to work with. So for the sender name, I usually just use something random. Like I'll just use Janet, and then I'll just go create like a fake Yahoo email or something like that. I'll just say Janet J1234 or something. You want to go and really create this email, but use like a fake, just like a pen name or something. You could use your own name too if you want. The key is I don't like to make it look like a company name because I don't want them initially to know that I'm a company. I want them to think that someone's sending them a quote request because really they are, but I just haven't sold them the lead yet. So now I can put here, separated by commas, everyone who I want to send the leads to. So what I recommend you do is go and gather a list of like 10 or 15 different contractors that you want to send these leads to, and then punch their emails in there. So You can do this one of two ways. One way is I like to go into Craigslist. I like to go into Craigslist because I know people posting on Craigslist for services are definitely going to be people who need work, or they wouldn't be on there advertising, right? So I could type in roofing, and probably should have went under skilled trades. Let's see this. Services. Oh, it only typed an RO. Okay. There we go. So now I can open up some of these, and it's not always going to show the email, but a lot of times what will happen is it'll show their company name. And if it shows their company name, you can go and you can look up their email address. So let's look through here. Ridgetop Roofing. Let's see if we can find them. Okay, here they are, Ridgetop Roofing. I don't know if we'll find an email address, but we're going to look, and I'm going to show you kind of the process of doing that. So the first place I like to look is on their website. I like to look in the footer. There it is, boom, email address. I found it that quickly. If it's not in the footer, I like to look on the Contact Us page. Sometimes it'll be there. If it's not on the Contact Us page, I look to look on manta.com. Ridgetop Roofing near Milwaukee. Okay, sometimes you'll find it on Manta. Okay, it didn't find it there. And then if it doesn't find it there, then I like to look on who.is. Who.is, you'll punch in their website like this. And a lot of times it will reveal it here. So hold on, I'm gonna write down that email address, punch it in the form so that we don't lose it. Okay, let's come back here. Copy this right here. For complete details, paste that into the browser. Punch in the CAPTCHA. All right, and look, another email address. So now I've got two email addresses from them. So I'm pretty much guaranteed to, can look, all the information for them is right there. So I'm pretty much guaranteed now that I'm going to be able to get in touch with them. So I'll separate that by comma and enter that in too. So I think you get the point, right? I would go and I would find like 10 or 15 or different emails like that. So I'll save that. And now is the powerful part. This is where the software comes in and really sells these leads on autopilot. It's the customization of the email. So for email subject, here's what we're going to do. You see this name, phone, email input, city, service type? Those are all fields that we just created from our form. Those are live fields that we created from our form, right? So we can insert these anywhere. So like, for example, if I say for the subject line, need a quote for, and then I put in service type field, right? That said repair or install. So if I put roofing or roof service type, it's going to change this input based on what the user entered in the form. So if they put install, it'll say need a quote for roof install. If they put repair, it'll say need a quote for roof repair. Okay, I might also put the city in there. In city. So if they put Milwaukee, it'll say Milwaukee. If they put Brookfield, it'll say Brookfield, right? Now if I want to attach an image, I can attach that too. So if they upload an image of their house, that'll send with the email to these different roofing contractors. So it's going to add real legitimacy that this lead is legit. Okay, then here's what we're going to say. Hi, I was wondering if you would be able to give me a ballpark estimate on this. Okay, now you can enter in, actually what I should have done was I should have created a form, a field on the form that said more info, right? And that's normally what I do. And then I would put that field here because then it would say exactly what they're looking done. Like if they put in the more info field, we have a roof leak in our living room, then it's going to say, hi, I was wondering if you could give me a ballpark estimate on this. We have our roof leaking in our living room. Okay, but we could still do even more stuff. I'm located in, then put the city, right? So I think you guys get the point, right? Give me some threes if this is making sense. Okay, lots of threes, great. So they're seeing real information, but what I'm not going to send them off the bat is I'm not going to send them the lead's phone number or email until we agree on a price. So let's say this. What you get now is a simple embed code, okay? A simple embed code that you can paste on all of your sites, any of your sites. You can create multiple forms, but you can paste this on your site. Here, I'll log in and show you what it looks like. I pasted it on the widgets on the sidebar. So here it is. It's my iframe code. I pulled it right out of here. And if we go back to the site, you see what it looks like, right? It looks great. So automatically, and if I were to make any changes to this form inside the software, it would automatically update all of my sites that have the form embedded on, which is great. So automatically my leads are sold on autopilot. Okay, all my submissions are tracked here. I can choose which form it came from. I can see who filled it out. I can see who the lead was sent to and the date it was sent. All that's there. Additionally, under the settings tab, this integrates with third-party email providers. So while you can use Gmail and Yahoo, I don't recommend it, because if you're sending these quote forms out to 15 different contractors, right, when you're trying to get a first sale, you don't want to be sending them all through like Gmail or Yahoo, because the deliverability is going to be bad. So we use SendGrid and MailJet. And the great part about this is MailJet, they'll give you 4,000 free email sends a month for free without even putting a credit card on file. And SendGrid is the same way. They'll give you 6,000 a month. So all you literally need to do is create an account at sendgrid.com. All right, I'll show you what it looks like. You go to like sendgrid.com, you create an account here. They'll give you 6,000 for free, and then enter in your username and password here and save it, and all of your form submissions are going to be delivered through them automatically. Okay? So that's the beauty in this. That's the beauty in this. And what happens from this point is they get one of those leads. You send them an email back and say, hey, I'm actually a lead generator, and I'd love to give you this lead. This is a real customer. It came from my sites. We get X amount of these every single day or every single week. Here's how much it is. Do you want to buy it? Yes or no? And you get good responses like this. People who say they've been waiting for this. They've been waiting. And why have they been waiting? Because they're fed up with Service Magic. They're fed up with the non-exclusive leads that they're sent to everyone else, right? So, does that make sense, everyone? Give me some 4s in the chat box if that makes sense. All right. Now, obviously, I'm going to make you an offer to get in on Requestimate, right? Requestimate is obviously a no-brainer for this method. Sure, you can go and you can build out these sites and you can get on the phone and cold call and you can do this all manually. There's no doubt about it. But why put yourself through the headache when you can just leverage what I've already built out? This is the infrastructure that I've already built out in my business, right? This software works anywhere. I see Michael asking, does it work in Canada? It works anywhere. This is all web-based, so you don't need to have, a certain like Mac or Windows. You can use this anywhere. You just log on to the internet and you use it. So Requestimate's been closed for 2 months. It hasn't been closed, but it was priced at $497 a month. Okay, a month, which is actually a great deal, because if you're selling for $150 a lead, I mean, you see it doesn't take many leads every single month to really make that money back. But you guys aren't going to pay that much, because I wanted to run a special deal for you. And I'm going to run this deal for a limited amount of time. And it's going to be the same charter membership deal that I ran when I first developed the software and opened it up. And that's a one-time payment of $497. So normally, if you were to go look at this 3 days ago, for example, you would have saw that it costs $497 a month to use the software. Right? $497 a month. And it's well worth that. I mean, it's like your own built-in salesman. How much would you pay a salesman to go out and sell these leads for you? I mean, imagine a lot more than $497 a month. And Requestimate does that on autopilot. So you get to be a member for lifetime as long as you keep paying the small yearly fee of $97. Okay, so that's just to keep maintaining the software. We're doing upgrades to it. We're hosting your forms. So we have to charge a small yearly fee just to keep hosting that. That's not due until a year from now. And of course, you could cancel at any time, like say 5 months from now, you decide you no longer want the software, which I don't know why you would want to do that. We've never had anyone cancel yet. But if you did decide to do that, you could. And basically, the high monthly fee for you is waived forever. So you're never going to have to pay the $497 per month as long as you get in now at this charter membership. So you just pay the one-time fee and then the small yearly fee a year from now. Now, I'm also doing a 30-day money-back guarantee because I realize that, you guys some of you are beginners. You're just getting into this. So the risk is completely on me with this. And I'm going to go a step further with this because I want you guys to be successful with this, okay? I need you guys to really see great success with this. Obviously, our success is intertwined, I want to see you guys be highly successful. So when you purchase today, for the first 20 people that purchase, and this isn't false scarcity or anything like that. There's only one of me. For the first 20, I'm going to offer bonus coaching for 4 weeks. Okay? And this isn't some inflated value, right? Because my coaching students right now pay me $3,000 to get coaching. So you're getting a 4-week coaching session. This is customized specifically to the Requestimate software and the lead generation method. So this is a custom coaching package that will be based on Requestimate. We'll run through. We'll get your first site up and running. We're going to meet on they're 4 sessions, 4 webinar sessions, and they last about an hour. And during those sessions, it's broken down exactly piece by piece what to work on. You get homework assignments at the end of every session. And by the end of the 4 weeks, you've got this lead generating machine that's pumping out leads and sucking in clients for you all on autopilot. So let's just go through a quick recap. And if you're in, I'll put the link in the chat box. You can just go to requestimate.com. Okay? Or requestimate.io, I'm sorry. Requestimate.io. Don't go to the .com, it won't work. So requestimate.io will take you to the sales video, and if you want, you can watch the sales video. Otherwise, you can just hit sign up and sign up right away. Sales video is basically going to outline exactly what I just shared with you, so probably would be a waste of time to watch it again, but if you want to, you really can. That's up to you. So if you want in, go to it now, and then I'm going to give you a quick recap. Now, inside, not only are you getting the coaching and the software and all that good stuff, you're also getting 18 training videos. That's going to break down from start to finish the process of building out a site. Particularly, I have a video in there. It's about 30 minutes long. That's going to get you started building out PBNs. Exactly like I showed you. From using Xenu Link Sleuth to find these domains to watching me recreate that site over my shoulder. You'll literally watch me recreate it over my shoulder. And in about 30 minutes, you'll be up and running and know how to build out your private blog network. And hopefully, if you follow along with the video, we'll have built out your first site. So 18 training videos of my best. This is like my most high quality training that I've ever put out, I feel. And I've gotten some great feedback on it. You're going to get the bonus coaching for 4 weeks in addition to that. You're going to get access to the Requestimate software, which is the key to making this all automated. You're getting the high monthly fee waived forever for being a charter member. Unlimited dynamic forms, right? So it doesn't just stop with, you can only create 10 forms a month or anything like that. No. As a charter member, you get unlimited forms. And lifetime upgrades, okay? You're getting lifetime upgrades to the system. So, we make changes here and there. We add certain features, fix bugs, stuff like that. You're never going to have to worry about a software that's full of bugs because you're getting lifetime updates. And that's why we charge that small yearly fee, so that we can maintain it, we can fix bugs. It's a software that's really high quality, and you're gonna find that out as you get inside. So when you head into Requestimate, they're gonna have you set up, your email SMTP settings, which is very easy, but there's training here, which will go through that. Show you how to integrate SendGrid if you want to know how to do that. Integrate MailJet. We'll walk through how to create a form, the exact email templates that I use to sell the leads. How to embed the form on your site, and then here's the 18 training videos. Okay, I show you how to pick a niche that's not going to be super competitive, how to set up the site, how to structure your pages, how to set up your permalinks and on page so that it's SEO friendly, how to get backlinks from your competitors, how to find relevant backlinks and different search queries you can use, how to start a PBN, how to find quality domains for your PBN, different PBN paths you can use. If you want to take a shortcut in 301 redirect, I show you how to do that the right way. Some more videos on that. The over-the-shoulder PBN from start to finish. This is by far, I think, the best video in the entire thing. So make sure you check out Module 11 on that. And then finding the high dropped domains with Xenu Link Sleuth. And then how to automate it with other software, which is all free software, by the way. So I know we've covered a lot, and there's a lot to think about here. And I'm going to put that on the screen again, the link, requestimate.io. And then I'm gonna grab a drink of water, and then I'm gonna answer questions. So go ahead and put your questions in the chat box. I'll grab a sip of water, and then we'll go through and answer them. Okay, now if the coaching isn't available, the buy button will disappear. So as long as you see the buy button on the page, the coaching is still available. Michael, there's no payment plans on this. The only other option would be to wait when I close this down and just do the monthly thing, which wouldn't make sense because it's $497 a month. So you definitely want to get on this now. I mean, if you have a credit card or something, you can put it on. You definitely be worth looking into and figuring it out because, like I said, I haven't offered this for over 2 months now. So I think it's been over 2 months since I've opened up this charter membership. So not sure if I'll open it up again. If I do open it up again, it'll probably be, later in the year or next year. So Alan says, how would this work with my other programs like Maps Mentor? And the answer, Alan, is amazing. Works amazing with Maps Mentor because you can rank with maps too. Okay, just going through more questions. Yeah, so the training covers getting your first site set up. I'm going to basically help you rank your first site. And keep in mind, you don't just have to use SEO. Although it's my preferred method because it's free leads forever, you can also get started right away with paid traffic like Facebook ads or AdWords or with free traffic from Craigslist. But I highly recommend you focus on SEO because it just is a no-brainer in my opinion. Alan says, what if you don't care to have a PBN? Then you follow some of my other ranking strategies, Alan. Although I don't know why you wouldn't want a PBN. In my opinion, it's the best investment an SEO can make in themselves. Randy, no, none of the training material is the same. It's all completely different from Maps Mentor. This has nothing to do with Maps Mentor, actually. All right. Are PBNs better than local authority sites like Chamber of Commerce? I think so, Mike. And the reason why is because you can control all of the links. You can also control how many people are linked on the site. Like on the Chamber of Commerce site, they're going to be backlinking to like 30 or 40 different people probably. Whereas on your sites, you might only be linking to like 4 or 5 people. No, sorry, there's no multi-pay on this. This is already a special offer I'm running. It's normally $497 a month. So if you want in on the one-time fee with the small yearly, then now's the time to do it. Do we need our own email service? Like I said, I recommend you use SendGrid or MailJet, which are free up to 6,000 sends per month, which is going to get you really far. After that, it's only like $9 a month. So, but you won't even need that for a long time, probably. So, how long does it take to rank a new site with a PBN you build? It normally takes about 3 weeks or so on average, I would say. 2 to 3 weeks. All right, looks great, but I missed the first 25 minutes. I'll send you a replay link, don't worry. So definitely look out for that. Hopefully the slots won't be filled by the time I send the replay out though, but I will be sending out the replay. The theme that I'm using, Carlos, is called Sparkling, and that's a free theme. It's awesome. All right, I'm just going through more questions here. All right, Chris says, do you have to build out a blog for these sites? Not necessarily. What I prefer to do is build out pages. So although you're using WordPress, which is a blogging platform, I prefer to just set my articles as pages rather than blogs. All right, let's see. Just going through more questions. Okay, Kevin says on the PBN, do you have different countries? Like, do you buy different, like if you're trying to rank in the UK, do you buy only .co.uk domains? The answer is no. I've found that it really doesn't matter too much. I have private blog network sites that are from UK and Australia, and I use them to rank US sites. And I've never ran into a problem. So if you wanted to stay only with those domain names, you can, but I personally don't. How long does it take to get the PBN set up? Not very long, Dave. Like I said, that video is literally me live over the shoulder in Module 11, I think it is. And it took me about 25 minutes. And that was while I was explaining how to do it. So, I mean, really, you could even do it a lot quicker. That was from start to finish. Dale, I already explained how to know how much to charge per lead. Because you're asking for a ballpark estimate, they're going to tell you the price of what that lead is worth. And you know already that contractors are willing to pay up to about 10% per lead. So immediately you know the price. Just take 10% of the ballpark estimate they gave you, and that's about how much you should be charging per lead. That's the beauty of it. It takes the what to charge out of the equation. It's really beautiful. I love it. Yes, the webinars are recorded, Alan. So, if you can't make one of them, you'll be sent a replay. Still make sure to register for them anyways, though, because that's how I send the replay out. No, Randy, you don't see any mention on the sign-up page of the free coaching, and that's because normally it's $4.97 a month, and I don't offer free coaching. So, trust me, you're getting the free coaching if you go in right now, and you have my word on that. You'll be sent a link in probably the next 3 days to sign up for our first session together. All right. How does it sell new leads that come in? It sells them by providing the dynamic fields, right? Provides the dynamic fields to show them that it's a real legitimate lead, even pictures sometimes, and then they respond back. And you get their attention. And all the email templates that I use are included inside. So you're not even going to have to think about what kind of email to send because I give you all the templates. All right. Let's go through more questions. And if I don't answer your question, I'm sorry. There's a lot of questions coming in. And you can feel free to email me at info@directorscutllc.com. I'll put it on the screen actually for you. Just in case you have questions that I wasn't able to answer. It's not that I'm purposely ignoring them. There's a lot of people on this webinar. So sometimes it's hard to see the questions. But if there's a question and I haven't answered it, you can go here, info@directorscutllc.com, and you can ask it there if we end this and I still didn't get to your question. But I'm still going through stuff. And if you're having problem checking out or something like that, same thing. Shoot me an email and we'll help get you in. Okay, Randy says, do I sell the leads and then collect from them monthly, or how do I handle the billing? So I use a lead tracker inside of Requestimate to keep track of how much I'm going to be charging them, right? And what I like to do is I do it two different ways. Some of them I charge bi-weekly. Some of them I charge monthly. And then some of them I require them to put a retainer. So I charge them, some of the money up front, like maybe I'll take in like $500 up front. And then after I send them enough leads to eat up that $500, I make them deposit another $500 into a retainer for me before I send them more leads. So it's up to you. All three ways work really well. It just depends on how you want to handle it. But Requestimate helps with the tracking to make that process really easy. And I've got some tips inside the training videos as well. All right, Dale says, what about if the business can convert the lead or not? That's up to the business, Dale. I mean, obviously these leads are really good leads. These are people they filled out a quotation form. So obviously they're serious about, getting a new roof or whatever. So you just have to make that very clear to the contractor. Yes, there will be a replay. All right, well, I think I answered most of the questions. Again, if you're having trouble checking out or you need extra help, this is where to go, info@directorscutllc.com. Otherwise, requestimate.io. Sign up. I'm looking forward to working with you in coaching. And I appreciate your time today. I know you guys are busy, and I appreciate you taking the time. I hope that even if you don't pick it up, you got a lot of value out of the training. All right, thanks, guys. And again, after you purchase, I'll send you a link probably within the next 3 days to access our first coaching session. Okay, we'll catch you later.